Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Sealy. I'm a new addition to the faculty here at King's, but I've taught creative writing before, primarily at UBC, which is also where I completed my MFA back in 2020. I wrote a novel called The Island of Forgetting. It came out in 2022, but I actually wrote it during my MFA program. It was my thesis project. So I know a little bit about what you guys are going through right now, about kind of how high stakes it can feel attempting to complete a novel manuscript within the confines of an academic program. Meeting those deadlines, it can be really high pressure. But I also know kind of how special and unique and beneficial an experience this is. I'm working on a second novel now, and I really miss that support and structure that I had during my MFA. So, as a mentor, I really kind of just want to pay forward that support that I received during my MFA and help you guys achieve a publishable manuscript by the end of the program, if that's something that you're aiming to do. As a mentor, my approach is really going to depend on where you're at in your creative process. If you're still kind of in early phases of kind of ideation and information gathering, then I'm going to take more of an inquiry first approach, kind of maybe encouraging you to step away from the keyboard to nourish your creative self and maybe go do some research, go explore in nature, kind of figure out what are you trying to write about. If you're a little bit further along, perhaps you're like well on your way to writing a rough first draft, for example, then that's when I'm going to maybe put on my editor hat. We're going to be looking more deeply at structure, like are there plot holes that need filling? Do you have a character arc that was maybe developing and then has kind of petered out? Are there stylistic changes that we can make at the sentence and the paragraph level to really tighten up your prose? I'm excited to work with students across all genres. I write what's called kind of upmarket or book club fiction or crossover fiction, meaning that it's literary fiction, but that it's written to appeal to a wider audience. But with that being said, I also love reading kind of more highbrow, esoteric stuff. So if you're writing maybe more experimental forms, that's completely fine. I'd love to work with you. I'm also an avid romance reader myself, so I'm really happy to work with students who are writing more commercial fiction as well. I'm not a huge fantasy or sci-fi reader, but with that being said, I really do believe that there are certain kind of nuts and bolts craft mechanics that are applicable across genre. So I'm just really excited to read all of the work that you're writing and to get to know all of you.